الجزء الأول من جلسة الحوار تناولنا فرصة أو قطاع لفرص استثمار يعتبر من القطاعات الناشئة في لبنان. بالجزء الثاني من جلسة الحوار بدنا نستعرض فرص استثمار أخرى بقطاعات أخرى. البداية بتكون مع الاقتصاد المعرفي، وبعدين بدنا نحكي عن مجال العقارات ضمن قطاع المعرفي أو اقتصاد المعرفي. بدنا نتناول يعني عنا تستموني على الستيج مع يونغ انتربرونور، وكمان بنفس الوقت في عنا اكسبرت بمجال الانكيوبيتور او الحاضنات او المسهلات. بداية البانل رح تكون مع دكتور مكرم صادر، اور كينوت سبيكر بهيدي الجلسة. أنا دكتور مكرم بدي أعطيك الكلام، ولكن بدي أعرف عنك أولاً أنه حضرتك ممثل عن هيئة المصارف، جمعية المصارف. يلا خليني دكتور مكرم أقدمك مثل ما لازم. فوالا يلا. جمعية المصارف بلبنان هي أقدم جمعية مصارف بالعالم العربي، تأسست سنة 1959، وهي شريك أساسي بتنظيم وإنجاح مؤتمرات الطاقة الاغترابية بلبنان والعالم. المصارف اللبنانية عندها تواجد خارجي رح نوضحه خلال كلمة الجمعية وخلال نقاشاتنا بهيدي الجلسة يلي رح يلقيها اليوم دكتور مكرم صادر as a keynote speaker، أمين عام جمعية المصارف منذ عام 1991. تفضل دكتور.
شكرا. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to be here today at this LDE conference to share with you some thoughts of mutual interest and debrief you on the Lebanese banking sector resilience and soundness. I will be also delighted to answer questions you might have on the role Lebanese banks can play in bringing Lebanese resident and expatriate together and in facilitating business ties and financial needs. The Association of Banks in Lebanon that I represent is a professional industry organization. It has been devoted since its establishment in 1959 to support the prosperity of the Lebanese banking industry and to contribute to a bulk of financial measures and regulation which have laid the foundation of the current modern banking system in the country. The association has played over the years and still a very important role in serving Lebanese economy and the country in general on the domestic, regional, and international markets. It has always had as well a supportive role in facilitating the provision of a variety of banking products and services to all Lebanese through network across the Lebanese territory, where we have 1,065 branches and abroad. Dear participants, the Lebanese banking industry has a diversified and competitive structure of 65 small, medium, and large-sized commercial and investment banks, and a wide regional and international presence. We have 18 Lebanese banks with presence in 32 countries and operating through 128 branches outside Lebanon. This would place the industry in a suitable position to serve and satisfy Lebanese residents and expatriates' needs of traditional and modern banking products and services. The industry has also a good and solid relationship with a wide correspondent banking network, especially with U.S. correspondent banks, to assure adequate trade finance tools and to clean cross-border transfers of funds from Lebanese expatriates. Lebanese banks deal with a network of more than 200 correspondent banks worldwide, from China to Chile. The Lebanese banking sector enjoys a decent domestic and international reputation. It is well regulated and supervised as recognized by highly regarded international organizations such as the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, and complies fully with international regulation and norms set by international standard setters, particularly in the area of anti-money laundering and sanctions. Lebanese banks apply strict and enhanced due diligence measures and do not conduct business at all with individuals and institutions listed on the OFAC list of the United States Treasury, nor on any other sanction list of the EU, UK, and the United Nations. Lebanon banks adopt and comply with international norms and standards in most areas of the banking profession, namely corporate governance, risk management, capital and liquidity adequacy, financial reporting, auditing, in addition to combating money laundering and financing of terrorism and sanctions. Banks in Lebanon attract highly qualified, skilled, and experienced personnel from resident Lebanese and Lebanese expatriates who are frequently trained and exposed to recent changes in the global banking industry. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lebanese banking sector has managed to overcome successfully over the last 3 decades large shocks and crises with the solid cooperation and coordination with the monetary and supervisory authorities in Lebanon. Total consolidated assets of banks amounted to as $213 billion at the end of September 2017, making it around 4 times the GDP of the country. And deposits of customers attained $173 billion. Claims on both the private and public sector exceed currently 170% of domestic output. The return on average assets for the sector is around 1%, and the return on average equity close to 11%, in line with regional and international achievements. Liquid assets to deposit are around 65%, and the capital to asset ratio, BIS, close to 17% for above international requirement of 8% by Basel Banking Committee. Dear Lebanese and expatriates, the Lebanese banking sector supports through credit facilities and loans private sector investment in different economic sectors and activities, and thus contribute to economic growth. In this respect, expatriate investors and individuals can finance their projects and activities from credit extended by either our domestic banks or their subsidiaries abroad. In this context, Lebanese banks play an increasing role in serving the Lebanese diaspora and linking Lebanese expatriates to their families and homeland through the subsidized housing loan in Lebanon up to $800,000 and for 30 years maturity and at an interest rate of 2%. And other non-real estate project loans, we are financing up to $15 million and for 15 years and at an interest rate of 2%. This is under circular of BDL Banque du Liban 331 and 475. Maybe we will speak about this circle to finance the startups in Lebanon. The Lebanese banking industry also largely contributes to the financing of government activities and investment in infrastructure. A good piece of information is that Lebanon will be preparing, with the collaboration of the World Bank and the IMF, a huge investment project in infrastructure involving spending around 20 billion US dollar on communication and telecom, water and waste systems, power, education, and health sector. Banks support this venture and look forward to participate and make it a success, and the private sector, resident and expatriate investors are invited in turn to take part in the PPP processes and contribute effectively at various levels and extent. In addition to its financial role, the Lebanese banking sector can play a second role as a catalyst, given its expertise, its credibility, and its active engagement in financing the economy. It can attract local and international investors in our economy in their turn. And a third role of our banking sector consists of acting as broker and consultant, i.e., to facilitate portfolio investment and government corporate securities. Indeed, our banks are able to provide to domestic and foreign investors a reliable and accurate assessment of investment opportunities in Lebanon and abroad, as well as valuable information on the financial capacity and soundness of potential local business partners for them. Ladies and gentlemen, you are all welcome to consider investment in Lebanese banks' debt and equity instruments, i.e. deposits, CDs, bonds, and shares, as an alternative and option to diversify income and generate good returns. The Lebanese banking industry, aside of facilitating investment decision-making, can be your potential partner. The capital of banks in Lebanon is receptive to external participation, being direct or through the acquisition of bank shares listed on the domestic and international markets. Be confident the underwriting and reimbursement issues related to debt and equity issuance by our domestic banks are managed by international trusted banks, and the CDs, bonds, and GDRs are traded on well-known international stock exchanges and are liquid and attractive. I thank you all for attending this session and the organizer of this conference for this wonderful gathering. I wish everyone success in her enterprise. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sader. I thank you for your keynote address. You had a very informative overview and you preempted a lot of questions. A lot. You know, when I was preparing for this panel, it happened to be that I was dealing with incubators, young entrepreneurs, accelerators, startups, all of them from a certain range of age, full of energy, with a lot of questions on the slot. Are you ready for them? They are all around you. Okay, I think in this panel I will be opening the floor for Q&A, but first I have on my panel, I will start with Eddie. Eddie Slim is a young entrepreneur, architect. Let me get, so young entrepreneur in construction and in restaurant business, architect. Previously high-ranked position, you had a high-ranked position in Group Carlos Slim. Eddie, I will start with the first question. I guess that yourself as well, you have many questions to address to Mr. Sader, emanating from your field experience and from the obstacles you are envisaging as a young entrepreneur living abroad and trying to pave your path abroad without denying your Lebanese roots and without cutting with the Lebanese investment opportunities. So let me start with the first question. How immigrants can participate in investing in Lebanon? First, what are, in your opinion, or what are you awaiting from the government to offer you as incentive in order to invest in Lebanon or to establish in Lebanon? And what are your expectations as immigrant when you invest? I mean, in terms of return of investment and legal framework. So this is my first question to you.
Okay. Thank you, John, for the invitation. Thank you, Mr. Saad, for the intro, and the committee and the people here around. Um as an entrepreneur and someone who's not a beginner but established business entrepreneur, I often find it difficult to take on large and big projects. So the help that we could always have from the banking industry and the Lebanese government, probably, and the Lebanese finance sector, is if they have, in a way, for the immigrants, some sort of a fund or an financial institution that could help us grow faster as immigrants, not as local Lebanese. I happen to think the best way for the immigrants to invest in Lebanon is actually to grow abroad and bring part of their wealth to participate in the local economy. I find it difficult for an immigrant to shift from where they lived 100% and then go back and invest in Lebanon. Now, today, I haven't seen any governmental program that could assist Lebanese immigrants, as a lot of countries do. For example, Spain, United States, and other countries around Lebanon, they do assist financially through loans and incentives to their diaspora. And then they help them grow, and in turn, they can help their local economy or their mother countries grow. And especially when Lebanon has a very low interest rate compared to the rest of the world. In Lebanon, the going interest rate goes between 2, you just mentioned it, to 4.8%. That's unheard of in Mexico, let's say. In Mexico, you pay about 16%. So we have a huge advantage if we, as immigrants, can have access and we can tap in to some funds that could be used where we are as immigrants in our countries, so we get developed, and then invest back in Lebanon in outsourcing and R&D, in areas where we can actually benefit both the country where we're at and Lebanon at the same time.
Adi, let me interrupt you a little bit here, if I may. When I was preparing this panel with you, it captured me a proposal or suggestion that you put on the table, that why we always ask from us as immigrants to come and to invest in Lebanon. We can grow up and we can expand abroad, and even by expanding abroad, we can always find and open channels with Lebanon. For instance, I can have, as Adi Slim, I can have my own project as architect in Mexico, and I can, through outsourcing mechanism, find job opportunities,
exactly.
Offer job opportunities for architect or startup architect in Lebanon.
Yes.
Okay? Can you elaborate on that?
Yes,
It was really appealing. I mean, the idea for me about the outsourcing of architect from Beirut because it's your field as architect.
Yeah. So we run an architecture office and construction company in Mexico City, and last year I tried to go to Lebanon and have an office where I can outsource part of the architects or work of the architecture that could be done locally to Lebanon. And I was faced with a series of problems, beginning with very, very slow internet, there was no incentives in Lebanon for me to rent a space where I can employ people. I had to create a company, I had to pay taxes. These are more custom issues that you face when you want to do outsourcing. But the major problem was transfer of funds. Sending funds from Mexico or US to Lebanon is a major problem that we face as immigrants, major. It just happened to me last week. I sent funds to Societe Generale, and it was sent back to the source. And I felt, usually you go to an airport and you feel like a terrorist already because of the background. But now I felt a terrorist in my own country, in Lebanon, because I was questioned of the source of the fund, why this money is going from this account to this account. They did not give me a checklist or a way to transfer the fund to say this is the safe way to transfer. I was extremely insulted, to say the least. So I expect a better treatment, let's say, from the banking industry. And these are some of the issues that we faced on a daily basis. So I stopped the project. I'm not gonna continue with my outsourcing now to Lebanon because of these issues, because these are real issues. I can't move forward if I have to daily face these basic issues. If you want to outsource to India, all you have to do is pick up the phone, call a company, and then you have everything set up. If you want to outsource to China, you pick up the phone and you set up an office. So we need some sort of a system that could, this is how we can contribute and help in Lebanon.
Thank you, Eddie. I will go back to you with other questions. Dr. Sader, I'm seeing you taking note.
I'm not mad at you, I'm just asking. So,
so we have, I can see many bankers, the faces of many bankers in the room. Dr. Basiri is with us as well. He was attending the first two panels, but we have Dr. Sader and he will, yeah, go ahead, Dr. Sader. So,
I have few comments on what our colleague is asking. If we finance a non-resident Lebanese, my answer is yes and no. Yes, we have already on our books for non-resident operator, for non-resident clients, almost the equivalent of $6 billion in loans to non-resident. Either they are expatriates or Lebanese non-resident. And most of them are, for sure, Lebanese businessmen working outside, but they have a kind of base in Lebanon. So we are expanding a lot of credit to our non-resident Lebanese communities outside Lebanon.
why can't you do it the other way around? Why can't you give money to
We
Lebanese
can
who
do
live?
it. We can do it the other way around if you are expatriate, willing to invest in Lebanon.
Exactly.
Okay, so it will be a project financing, not a startup, just as a startup. A project finance. If you have a project in Lebanon, for sure, we can provide financing for it.
I don't have project in Lebanon. I have project outside, but I can benefit
You are
Lebanon
living
from outsourcing.
outside, and you have outside. Our laws and regulation cannot permit us to extend the credit to a resident outside Lebanon and for project outside Lebanon.
Why can't
so
you change them?
either you can be a resident with a non-resident project, or non-resident with a resident project in Lebanon. You know, you see the combination, the mix we have for credit. Also, I want to tell you something. You are giving me the example of Société Générale, you know, in Paris or in Geneva, or a US bank, Citibank, or JP Morgan. Okay. You have to remember always, we are in Lebanon surrounded by by multiple and big risks. Because of our geographical location, because of our neighboring countries, the war in Syria, our Israeli-Lebanese border, we have a lot of big risks. That's why when we are extending a credit to anybody, resident or non-resident, we have a very scrutiny on the person, on the project, on the money, the origin, the source of the money, on the financing of terrorism. So we are obliged to take care of all these factors when we are dealing with an investor in Lebanon or a Lebanese investment outside Lebanon. Thank you.
In any case, thank you, Dr. Sader. I will go back to you, Adi. I know that you have many questions on the table, and we will have this interplay discussion or interplay approach in conducting this panel, because it's a very dynamic panel with a lot of unconventional ideas. I will go to Eli Heibi now, and then you are our anchor point here, Dr. Sadr. So every time I will be addressing any panelist, then I have to get back to you to elaborate on his point or on his question. Thank you. Okay, so Eli. Hello, Eli. How have you been? So a telecom engineer from Telecom Sud Paris. CEO of a company, Hermes System, dedicated to transformation of business using technology. You have funded an innovation lab that is currently working on digital health solution. So describe your activity briefly in the context of the current digital economy. And please, I want you as well, if you have anything to address to Dr. Sadr, since he's with us today. So I want to have this linkage and interplay approach in the discussion. Describe your activity in brief.
Sure, thank you, Jean. So I will speak in Spanish, if you don't mind.
No problem, go ahead.
Entonces, como dijo Jean, estamos dedicados a el diseño y ejecución de proyectos de transformación digital para empresas grandes en sectores como retail, banca, fintech, porque asistimos a las fintechs para ser innovadoras, seguros, salud pública particularmente, y las especialidades de la economía digital o la digital economy que mencionó Jean. Y que manejamos son cloud, analytics, mobile, social media, IoT, tema IoT muy importante para el panel anterior, el tema petróleo es una tecnología revolucionaria, y el tema de la inteligencia artificial, deep learning, natural language processing, etc. Y nuestro Innovation Lab lo que hace es, bueno, pues es una fase de pre-incubación de los proyectos. Hacemos una especie de concurso interno de ideas y las llevamos a prototipear y a probar en un entorno real. Y así nuestro Innovation Lab ha graduado proyectos como un expediente médico electrónico centrado en el paciente. ¿Okay? Es una forma innovadora de administrar los datos de los pacientes en los hospitales. Otra iniciativa es usar inteligencia artificial para procesar el feedback, la retroalimentación de los clientes, para procesar automáticamente la retroalimentación de los clientes. Otra más, y eso tiene que ver con FinTech, es el ahorro 3.0, cómo construir programas, sí a través de aplicaciones móviles, pero tiene que ver con el procesamiento de la información y con la entrega de la información a la persona, cómo volvemos la persona un ahorrador compulsivo. En vez de un comprador compulsivo, queremos que sea un ahorrador compulsivo, y esos algunos de los proyectos que estamos empujando en nuestro Innovation Lab. Muy bien.
Eli, are you still at the age of startup?
Well, it depends on the initiative. Depende de la iniciativa. Tenemos iniciativas en etapa de idea. Nuestra actividad principal, por supuesto, está consolidada. Tenemos 17 años en el mercado mexicano. Y bueno, sí tenemos ideas como startups, algunas ya fondeadas, algunas ya va a salir al mercado, la de salud pública en enero.
If you have a project or an initiative which is still like at the startup age, would you resort to the service of an incubator?
Well, we would resort certainly to the service of an accelerator, certainly. And we are in talks with an accelerator that is present worldwide and also in Lebanon.
Yeah.
The accelerator is called Endeavor. So we will try to, well, we are in talks for them to go for a funding round for one of our projects, and we will try to link it with the 331 initiative and with synergies related to Lebanon, certainly.
Thank you, Eli, because Dr. Sader will elaborate on 331. Before I go to Dr. Sader, I have from the Chamber of the Businessmen Chamber, Mexican-Lebanese, Mr. Arturo Salcedo, you're the only speaker on the 3 panels who is not from Lebanese origin. But I really want to thank you because you came from Mexico City specifically to be on this panel as an expert and to elaborate on the incubator which is integrated within the chamber itself. We had the representative of the chamber in the first panel in the morning segment. Now you are here to talk as an expert about Emily Incubator. I want to ask you as well, we have Eli, we have Eddie, 2 entrepreneurs here in Mexico. If, for instance, their projects are complying with the criteria of the incubator or the accelerator you're running within the chamber, would you incubate their projects? This is the first question, but before we go to that, I would like to ask you to elaborate and to give us a brief overview about the Emily Incubator in the chamber. As well, I would like to introduce you in a it was supposed to be in the beginning. So you're a consultant, entrepreneur, and lecturer, expert in creativity and business innovation, holder of a degree in business administration from the University of Texas. So Emily Incubator experience, and then we go to 331 in Lebanon. And then I would like to hear from you a little bit about the innovation, you know, as a criteria to help or to make an SME or a company up to the standard and to empower it, to be empowered in order to penetrate the market. Let's start with the incubator. Emily.
Okay, thanks, Jan. Thanks for inviting us to be in this really, really important panel. And even if I am not from Lebanese culture, we are really admiring you as a huge community. I really like the way you help each other. I can feel and see all this energy, and I really admire you as a people, as Lebanese people. Let me tell you that we have a business incubator within the Lebanese Mexican Chamber, and what we do is help entrepreneurs to transform their ideas into successful businesses. And we, of course, have a whole process from the very beginning, trying to give them some advice, some training to convert the idea into a business, but that idea has to be in the market. Otherwise, it'll be like a failure. And I'm very, very happy to be in this panel because I can see many opportunities to connect ideas, to connect projects, to connect areas of opportunity. For example, we can work with you as entrepreneurs, with you as iLab. I like the idea of an innovation lab. And we can also connect those entrepreneurs with big companies to take advantage of those companies' opportunities for marketing their services, their products, their ideas. That's what we do at Emeli.
Yeah, thank you, Arturo. When I visited the chamber and I had the chance to be listening to your presentation about the incubator, the first question that occurred to my mind, within this Lebanese Mexican chamber, how many projects from Lebanese entrepreneurs were incubated by Emily?
Well, actually, we have incubated more than 1,000 projects.
Okay.
Most of them are coming from people from Mexican Lebanese people. Mm-hmm. But we are also open to any kind of projects. But the point here is that we have to take their ideas, as I said before, and take them to the market.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of more of awareness campaign about the incubator, because most of our entrepreneurs from Lebanese origin residing in Mexico, they don't know about Emily. So I had the curiosity to come myself to the chamber and to dig around the incubator. And that's why I wanted you to be on this panel. It's an opportunity maybe to announce about this incubator and to invite all of our entrepreneurs from
Sure.
Lebanese origin to offer and to submit their project and to put it on the table for screening and maybe to be incubated on a later stage. Yeah? One of the specialty that you have in Emily is as well that you take in charge, you accompany the project or the startup, I mean, until the execution of the project in order to ensure sustainability. So how you do that?
We provide like follow-up services. We want to make sure that their business ideas really go to the market and that they get money for those ideas because they are a new company. But if you just incubate the project and don't take account of following and helping them after the incubation process, it might be a failure.
But I understood as well that there is kind of fund that the return or the profit made by a project which exit, a part of it on a voluntary basis might go back to finance or to fund this trust fund. And this money is used for other startups as well. So you have this circular, circular rotational funding way to take in charge financially the startup projects, which is very smart. So it's like an auto-finance, auto-funding of in the incubator itself. I have Dr. Baasiri, of course, in addition to Dr. Sader. I would like to pass him the microphone. Dr. Baasiri, since your presence with us here, I would like to ask you a little bit about the 331. Now you listen to Mr. Arturo Salcedo about their experience with the government. They have their own 331, as in Mexico. Emily is one of the incubators, but since it is working within the chamber, the Lebanese Mexican chamber, that's why I invited Mr. Arturo to be with us on the panel. But through my research about incubators in Mexico, there are many incubators and accelerators, and they are financed by the central government. And they have as well their auto-financial mechanism. What can you tell us about the 331?
The 331 really concerns startup knowledge economy companies. Okay. Now, the central bank, for good or bad reasons, got involved in a lot of things that are not so orthodox. I'm not talking Greek Orthodox, I'm talking Orthodox traditional, to any typical central bank. So one of the things that the central bank engaged in was to encourage entrepreneurs, Lebanese entrepreneurs, young people, so that it comes in. The objective is really to give them opportunity to come up with some innovative knowledge economy related things, and probably to stop the wave of immigration, people leaving, young people leaving Lebanon, and create jobs. So 331, okay. It's free money. Put it simply, it's free money awarded to entrepreneurs that fit certain criteria. And when I say free money, okay, because I think we've allotted some, we say 400, probably more than $500 million. That's free money, practically free money, okay? So not to complicate things in terms of the financial engineering vehicle, but let's say free money to encourage young Lebanese entrepreneurs. So this is the whole objective of it. Mechanism is very simple. Has it kicked off in Lebanon? Yes, but it was still, the jury's still out to judge, okay? But we have some encouraging signs. Some people were very critical, say, are you looking to create Amazon or Yahoo, whatever? I don't know. I mean, there is really no good answer. But at least from our perspective as central bank, we believe that what we're doing helps create jobs. And we you know, we all know, I mean, with all modesty, that Lebanese, like most other people, are innovative, and they rank number 3, I think, in terms of entrepreneurship things, according to some statistics I read at the point of time. But the thing is, there is an opportunity awarded to young people to do it, and I don't have really good statistics as of now to tell you how much money has been spent yet, but it's definitely in the you have statistics, okay.
650 million.
150 million, that's money spent, right? Okay. We have statistics, we can always provide you with statistics.
$650 million already to allocate to the finance of
Right.
almost 800
Right,
new,
right.
startups.
But
and they
right.
created already around 9,000
Jobs.
new job.
right.
And from now to 2025,
Right.
we'll be creating 25,000
right.
job this
Right,
knowledge
right.
economy.
But one other thing I would like to point out, that the money is not fixed, it's not 400 or 500. It is a percentage of the capital accounts of banks. So the more capital accounts of banks go
Yes.
up, the higher the money
It
that
is-
will be
yes,
available for
Exactly.
entrepreneurs.
It is limited to 4%.
Exactly. But the
of the
as far
bank
as the capital
capital.
accounts go up, so the
But-
amount goes up as well. Right.
But as the end of September 2017, the capital funds of the banks
20
are almost
20 billion dollars, right.
20 billion. It's a lot of money.
Right.
4% of 20
That's right.
billion dollars.
That's right.
It's a lot of
Right,
money
right,
for
right.
startups.
Right, but let me add one thing which is very relevant to this panel discussion. Okay, I mean, how is 331 help or relate to diaspora, Lebanese diaspora? This is, I think, it's an issue here for you to debate. I mean, the prerequisite of 331 really, basically, you need to set up the company in Lebanon. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean the company cannot have operations outside. They will have operations, of course.
How? This is, I was going to
Right.
go to come to this question,
Right.
Dr. Basiri.
It has to be Lebanese entrepreneur, national Lebanese. It has to be set up in Lebanon as head
Yeah.
office, because we need to create jobs in Lebanon.
No problem, okay.
But doesn't mean that the company is not going to go expand. They will expand, of course, that's for sure. They will have to come into Mexico, come in Brazil, Latin America, Europe, what have you. So it's not limited geographically for the businesses. It's just the legal structure.
Yeah.
There's one thing, but what I would also like to just to take up with you guys is really look at 331 very, very carefully. And if you have any questions or you have any suggestions, please do communicate with us, because we're open-minded. We're willing to entertain any thought. Okay, we're not perfect people. We do make mistakes. Okay, but we're very much willing to support you, within the legal framework and within the code of money that the law that governs the work of the central bank. But we're very much committed to help you out within our means.
Dr. Basiri, I shall tell you that one of the latest highlight of BDL Bank initiatives was the 331 and the 551.
Where is the 551? I'm not so good at numbers. Is it the housing loan or something?
It is the initiative that was launched in Los Angeles, Las Vegas, LDE.
Oh, the 2%, right?
Yes,
I call
exactly.
the 2%. I'm not so good at numbers.
It was about
Okay.
the fund, the facility, the financial facility for the expat in order to buy or invest in the real estate in
Great.
Lebanon. Here, briefly,
right.
yeah.
I think I have a session in the afternoon, so let's leave it till
Yes,
afternoon,
we'll
right?
leave it for the afternoon. We will not preempt on that. Definitely will not burn the stage.
Right.
Just I want to seize the opportunity that you are with us here on the stand briefly, and I want from my audience really to bear with me. Really, I'm taking from the time of the next panel. Why there is no, because this is the question of AD, and I will reformulate it in a different way. You are offering loan to invest and to establish in Lebanon. But let's say he's an entrepreneur, he wants to expand abroad, and as well he wants to have his fund or his loan or his facility similarly to 551, for instance, and to have his own factory abroad and open this factory for like 10% of job opportunity for Lebanese coming from Lebanon, Okay, I mean according to certain scale of criteria. There is
Yes.
any initiative as such to be
Yes.
envisaged in the future by BDL?
No, I'll tell you something. I mean, typically any central bank in the world, okay, it's really monetary policy and banking policy.
Okay.
The central bank has been doing something which is completely unorthodox, which, with due respect to the Orthodox, the Greek Orthodox, I'm not talking religion, okay? I just meant it to be a joke. I don't know if you get my joke. Anyway, so the thing is, the central bank has been doing something beyond the scope of any traditional central bank. And based on that, we are willing and prepared to entertain any thought. We're not closed-minded at all. We're very open-minded. Of course, we do respect the law and have to be within the context of the law and the legal framework of the central bank. Okay. We think that, I have to be honest with you, that all the incentives that given by the central bank were all geared for Lebanese in Lebanon.
Okay.
So 551, okay, that gears for diaspora or immigrant, not Lebanese that are qualified as
Okay.
immigrant
Yeah.
diaspora.
True.
Okay. Since I'm here, I think somebody told me that you had a question on money transfer. Is that
Yeah,
I
it
have a
was
question,
Eddie.
I have a
Eddie.
Eddie?
So don't you think that what your policy is competing against is the same policy that the US have, Swiss have, Europe have? So all these brains, all these ideas, even from Lebanese immigrants, are going towards different countries just because in Lebanon we have a legal limitation that you have to be established in Lebanon. I could be a Lebanese with a great idea, and I can't have funds from Lebanon. I have to go to a different country and receive funds from that country, and then I have to establish my company in that country, and I will never think back to go back to Lebanon because I'm established over there. But if I have financial help from Lebanon to be established and compete in a different country, one day, or legally, you can oblige me to go back to Lebanon and establish a base after I'm successful and I have a lot of business, and I can bring back some of that business to Lebanon.
Okay.
The other way around, you're limiting my ambition and you're limiting my limitation, and you're competing against greater powers that are outside of Lebanon,
Okay.
and you're stealing all these.
Are you talking out of your experience? Are you diaspora?
I'm what?
Are you diaspora?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good,
he's
good.
busy.
Do you ever go to Lebanon? You make visits to Lebanon?
Twice a week, twice a year.
Twice a week. That's good.
Twice a year.
Twice a year. I would very much welcome you on your next visit, or maybe a little earlier, to come and sit with me, and I arrange for you to meet with the people that are directly concerned with this issue. And we're very much prepared to listen to you.
Dr.
We'll
Basili,
have-
I'm
we'll
But
have
really
you out.
I'm not fighting for me. I'm fighting for
No, I'm not, yeah, I mean, you talk on behalf
not
of your
personal.
people. Yes, I mean, because probably you have good ideas that we never thought of.
Okay, I
Okay,
welcome your invitation.
because you're on the other side of the fence. You're the diaspora. You're the Lebanese living outside Lebanon. So no matter how much I feel with you, it's not going to be the same because you live it here.
Exactly.
So I would like to listen to you, and you tell me exactly what the issue is, and we'll work out a solution.
Okay.
Because for every problem, there's a solution. If it's good for Lebanon, good for the Lebanese immigrants, it's going to be good for the country, and we will do it. I promise to do it.
Okay, and I
Okay.
promise I'll go and visit you.
Thank you, Dr. Basir, for this very academic intervention and very dynamic. Thank you so much. As well, I would like, I still have the last field, investment field, which is the real estate in Lebanon. Antonio Hanna Greye, President of America's International Real Estate Federation. I give you the floor to elaborate a bit about the investment opportunities in the real estate in Lebanon, the difficulties faced. I want you as well, please, to link your intervention with what Mr. Basiri and Dr. Sader just mentioned with regard the financial facilities in this regard. The floor is yours. I want to finish with you. I'm really sorry from the audience, and sorry as well from my colleague Bashir, who is supervising all the panels. So here you are.
35 minutes, that's it.
Go ahead.
Ok, bueno, este es el lado del español. Muchas gracias por haberme invitado esta tarde. Vamos a hablar un poquito de qué está pasando con el mercado de los bienes raíces en Líbano. Para los libaneses, y lo más importante después de la salud y la familia, además de la comida, es nuestro patrimonio. Y nosotros nuestro patrimonio lo invertimos en bienes raíces. ¿Qué ha pasado en el mercado inmobiliario en Líbano durante estos últimos años? antes de 1975, era la perla del este y teníamos una construcción que estaba fundamentada en el estilo avant-garde. Del 75 al 90, cuando tenemos la guerra civil, prácticamente en el sector inmobiliario en Líbano no pasó nada. Lo único que había era operaciones entre conocidos y prácticamente el mercado inmobiliario no se movió en la guerra civil. Después vino la reconstrucción. En 1990, 1993 empieza la reconstrucción en Líbano y a finales de los 90 tenemos una crisis. Los últimos 4 años de los 90 tuvimos una crisis inmobiliaria donde los precios ya no subieron. Pero después vino el 2003. Del 2003 al 2010, los precios en las casas, departamentos, terrenos, edificios locales subieron entre un doble y un triple del precio en 7 años. Esto fue una gran oportunidad financiera para todos. En los últimos 2 años hemos tenido un gran número de transacciones, lo que fue 2015, 2016. ¿Y qué está pasando hoy en Líbano en el mercado inmobiliario? El mercado inmobiliario de Líbano tiene una toma de utilidades. En estos momentos el mercado está en un momento en donde estamos en la ventaja de los compradores. La gente que vaya a comprar al Líbano va a encontrar good deals, va a encontrar muy buenas oportunidades y Líbano está en el mejor momento para invertir. ¿Por qué? Porque hoy tenemos la posibilidad de comprar un inmueble con una hipoteca para la gente que tiene la residencia o que tiene la nacionalidad de Líbano y que no vives en Líbano al 2% anual. 2% anual. Si estamos esperando que el mercado crezca aproximadamente a niveles entre el 5 y el 10%, pues es un negocio que prácticamente no tiene riesgo y que estamos en el mejor momento para vivirlo. ¿Y por qué también estamos en el mejor momento? Porque el presidente mundial de la FIABSI, que es la Federación Internacional de Bienes Raíces, de la cual soy presidente en el capítulo de Américas, en el 2019 tendrá al primer presidente libanés de esta asociación, que es Walid Musa, y del cual me enorgullezco mucho de estar colaborando con él. Hoy en México tenemos un convenio, firmamos un convenio hace 2 años, la AMPI, la Asociación Mexicana de Profesionales Inmobiliarios, y REAL, que es el Real Estate Syndicate libanés, en donde si ustedes tienen algún inmueble que tienen duda, si ustedes tienen algún terreno que les dicen, oye, tus abuelos, tus bisabuelos, tus papás dejaron una tierra en Líbano, firmamos un acuerdo para poder dar asesoría a todos los mexicanos de ascendencia libanesa para que puedan consultar el mercado inmobiliario en Líbano. Hoy, Líbano está dependiendo mucho del mercado de los extranjeros, están llegando muchísimos extranjeros a Líbano y esto está haciendo que se requieran más inmuebles, y por el otro lado, la diáspora libanesa está colaborando mucho para que el mercado pueda funcionar. Hoy contamos con proyectos muy importantes como el arquitecto Jan Novo, que puso sus ojos en Líbano, y vienen proyectos de Zaha Hadid. Entonces vamos a tener hoy ya una arquitectura, y lo podemos ver en el centro de Beirut, una arquitectura totalmente diferente en lo que es el mercado inmobiliario. Vienen nuevas épocas, se van a construir loft, se van a construir condos mucho más chicos y va a haber ya un mercado diferente que entra al primer mundo del mercado inmobiliario mundial. Y lo más importante, yo lo que les diría, yo creo que todos queremos comprar en Líbano, todos queremos participar en la tierra de nuestros padres y nuestros abuelos con un pedazo de tierra, con un condominio, pero esto sobre todo porque todos tenemos que ser orgullosos y todos tenemos que ser y creer en este libanismo que todos tenemos adentro. Muchísimas gracias, buen día y que Dios los bendiga.
Thank you, Antonio. Thank you so much. And thank you for the time record that you respect. One thing and one request through you, I would, I would send it through you, this message. You're a real estate developer. We have to keep the aspect of our traditional old house, the rustic Lebanese old house. So even if we are developing our real estate in Lebanon as well, those red roof traditional house, we have to preserve them.
Sure.
This is part of our culture.
Claro que sí.
Okay. I will finish my panel with a proposal, a last proposal, which will be declared from here, from this panel by Eddie. Please, I give you the floor to just, we will close this panel. You had a proposal which is very practical. I don't know how much it can fly from here. Two proposals, one on the Shark Tank and the other one in LDE task force. Can you please declare them from here? And I will see with Dr. Sadr if they can fly, by the way, if they are practical. And we'll finish this panel from there. We will see if we can integrate them as a recommendation at the end of this event, okay? Because we have an outcome document.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I think most of us saw Shark Tank, so we know how Shark Tank works. And I think I've been in LDE since probably the first events, and I think it grew to become a good platform. So we can have a system or a committee that's similar to Shark Tank, where we can actually invite companies, we can invite Lebanese immigrants who have businesses or who have ideas, and they are interested in financing or partnerships or partners from other Lebanese abroad. And in every event of LDE, we can do screening, and then we can review all the cases. And maybe in Lebanon, every year, we can award this financing to the people, the immigrants who are interested in having financing. And I think the first Shark Tank could have a fund of $1 million. If we can have 100 Lebanese, every Lebanese would put $10,000. This is not a free money. This is a loan. This is an investment in companies that actually could become successful or should become successful. We can have your help to have some funds, and your help maybe to have more funds. I can commit to have at least 10 people to join the first 100,000, and I think we can have another 90 people who can commit 10,000 each and then create that first fund. This is an idea. It's up to you.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you so much. Eli, you have an idea as well. I want to close the panel. Quick.
Yeah, I'll go quickly. So we all want to put Lebanon on the map of innovation, on the road of prosperity, job creation, inclusive growth. So I have first a request to amend the 331 circular. I have been speaking with venture capitalists that are active in Beirut, and they are complaining about the lack of innovation of the startups and the lack of business acumen. So, we are copying the ideas that are being used in Mexico in the same innovation industry. So the proposal is to include a mandatory business and financial advisor to each startup, a mandatory participation of R&D by local universities, and there are really many very interesting things that are being created at R&D department at local universities in Lebanon. And also and we should put the incentive behind this, the international linkage of the startup. So when the startup is linked to an international exposure to other companies, other partners, it should have more incentives to have the funds. Another request for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Diaspora. The diaspora has been the sleeping dragon, and we are waking it up. This event is, and the many LDE editions that we have been witnessing are waking up the dragon. So we need a stronger structure at the Lebanese embassies. We need attaché commercial.
This is the call of Dr. Sadr.
Right. Attaché économique, veille technologique, etc., etc. And also to make it possible to do business between, at least Mexico and Lebanon, we need to establish tax agreements.
Thank you, Eli. Thank you. You know, if we will go on with our 3 panels, you know, we will just sit here until tomorrow. There's a lot of ideas, a lot of, dynamic.
I said
We
it
will
all.
keep the
Thank you.
momentum. We woke up the dragon, as you said. This momentum, we will keep it. I would like here to close the panel on this positive note that you just sent. And I would like to thank all of my audience for bearing with us and for their indulgence. Thank you. We will compile the 3 panel and we will come out with recommendations that will be delivered in the closing ceremony. One announcement, Antonio.
Sí, bueno, les dije que era el mejor momento de invertir en Líbano. Hoy tenemos un presidente del sector inmobiliario en México, Alejandro Curi, que entra como presidente. Quiero no dejar de mencionarlo. Y bueno, y con él pueden estar en contacto para la gente que quiera tener esta relación con la Asociación de Líbano y que quieren saber sus propiedades en Líbano. Alejandro o un servidor los podemos servir. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you, Antonio. Thank you for all of my panelists. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it and it was constructive. Thank you.